Hi everyone, my name is Gena Park, and I'm an industrial design student at Seoul National University. I'm currently filming this video in our school's media studio, hoping to share a bit of the vibrant atmosphere of Seoul with you. My design process often begins with carefully observing the world around me. Over the past 5 years as an undergraduate, I've noticed so many moments and patterns that people often overlook. One day, while walking around campus, I began noticing the overwhelming amount of disposable cups piling up everywhere. So, with my team, I designed an experimental system that introduced reusable cups and encouraged circulation through small design nudges. On another day, I reflected on the huge amount of plastic waste that me and my classmates were generating through countless 3D prototypes. I found potential in the discarded ABS powder we used, and eventually turned that material into this very chair I'm sitting on. Through these experiences, I've come to believe that design is no longer just about aesthetics. It is a powerful tool that can reshape how we live, how we connect with one another, and how we respond to the urgent challenges of our time. The project I'm about to introduce today began in the same way, by observing a familiar yet often overlooked act, giving flowers. I live near the largest flower market in Seoul, and every graduation season, I see countless bouquets lining the streets. What I noticed was the enormous amount of plant waste behind those vibrant flowers, and this is what I did with it.
It all started from my love towards flowers. Whenever I get flowers, I can't help but admire it all day long. But one day, unwrapping a bouquet, I realized how much plastic was used for that single fleeting moment. To make a bouquet, 2.5 square meters of flower wraps are used, most of which are thrown away after single use. Observing flower markets in Seoul, I realized that the packaging supply market is just as big as the flower market itself. And a huge amount of leaves and stems were trimmed and discarded within the supply chain. This made me wonder, what if disposable flower wraps can be replaced into biomaterials? And what if we can recycle resources discarded within the system? So I began experimenting, boiling, pounding, and blending plant waste with mulberry and okra, then forming the mixture into sheets by hand, inspired by traditional Korean paper-making techniques. Some fun variations were also possible in between, like making paper with daisy waste and using it to wrap daisies again. The sheets were dried, coated with rice starch, and became naturally fragrant, flexible, and compostable. The biodegradable ribbon was made from alginate, giving the final touch. This journey wasn't just about making a new biomaterial. It was about imagining a shift in our everyday rituals, where beauty is balanced with responsibility, and where the way we give and receive flowers reflects a more thoughtful, sustainable way of living.
Hello everyone, thank you for your time today. We are HAS, a design agency based in Seoul, South Korea. We bring brands to life under the slogan, "The New Breath for Your Brand." For the last 2 decades, we've been creating various methods for brands to keep alive for the consumers. Today, we are excited to share one of our climate-conscious projects that we hope will inspire you. It might sound like a typical question, but do you know BTS? BTS is a global K-pop icon, and HYBE is the agency behind this phenomenon. Together with HYBE, we worked on a project aimed at supporting a more sustainable music industry. Our focus was on the environmental impact of physical albums. Millions are produced and discarded, and most are made of non-recyclable materials, leading to mountains of waste. Our goal was to create a new symbol for Hive that brings sustainable value to the music industry. Our inspiration came from the tag. A tag can take many forms and serve multiple functions, so we came up with the digital tag, which can be an alternative to physical CDs. Following thoughtful deliberation, we introduced the digital code as a new solution. This digital code brings a fresh, meaningful way to experience an album. It can be a name tag showing the album's identity, or like a social media tag, it can symbolize the connection between fans and artists. Furthermore, the tag is made out of recycled plastic and pulp, which can be a booster for the sustainable music industry. We took the letter H from Hive and shaped it into a digital tag. It represents both the brand and the interconnection between elements. The tag surface design and presentation methods can be adapted based on the artist and album concept, providing flexibility and personalization. In addition to the sustainability of the kit, the unboxing experience of Hive's albums was designed to deliver a consistent and unified impression, creating the feeling that Hive's artists are presenting gifts directly to their fans. The packaging goes beyond merely wrapping and transporting products. It becomes a vital tool for expressing the brand more richly and delivering the immersive brand experience to consumers. Through this innovative packaging experience, Hive's digital code is delivered in a fresh and engaging way that not only enhances the overall brand experience for consumers, but also demonstrates the company's commitment to environmental responsibility. Thank you again for being with us today. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. If you are interested in seeing more of our work, please feel free to visit our website.
Hello, I am Noemi Cortizas. I'm an industrial designer and mechanical engineer, and I have been working in the eco-design industry and circular materials for several years. I have been doing projects for all types of markets, be it cosmetic, luxury, retail, furniture, transportation, or even electronics. My vision of conscious design is based in two axes. First one, the best waste is the one that has not been yet generated. Therefore, as designers, we should always aim to create products that are easy to repair, easy to separate by hand, and if possible, they should have recycled materials, but what we use to manufacture them, they should not impact the recyclability. The other axis is that we should always have an industrial mindset behind it. That means that when we create circular materials, when I work in the development of this type of materials or products, I always keep in mind that these materials should be mass produced of the best possible way. They should be, if possible, competitive in price, and for sure it's mandatory that they should be aligned with the technical, aesthetical, and functional requirements of the market I am designing it for. The Viva Luz project is the first one I'm going to talk. Is a project that was done for a French startup in the circular fashion industry. They wanted me to help them to create a catalog of different products like hangers, desk counters, document holders, or soft accessories like, for example, basket bags and iPad sleeves, for example. The challenge, well, there were two challenges. The first one was to work only with a blend of synthetic fibers from the fast fashion. That means that no organic blend. Why? Because the synthetic fibers blend is a mix that is not always well characterized. We're talking about elastan mixed with neoprene or polyester in proportions that are not always quite clear. So it has a really difficult way to be recycled and not so much outlets on the recycling industry. And the other challenge was to create colors, trendy colors without pigments or additives. So I needed to study ways of sorting all the clouds, obtain fibers, and how to mix them in a repeatable way, because this material and the product should be mass produced in an industrial facility, and the color should be more or less repeatable. So yes, those were the challenges. Also, the creating of a sturdy furniture that would not have any glues or additives or screw fasteners or something that would complicate the repairability and the recyclability. The second project I'm going to talk is the Recycled Textile Stone. This is a project that was developed in partnership with Wime Studio. The idea of this project is to not only have a circular material, but also a collection of furniture for hotels, interiors, and retails, shops or equipment, like also lights, for example. This material is made mainly of waste of different sources. Like, for example, it has acoustic isolation waste, gypsum or plaster that we recover in renovation architectural sites. It also has food industry waste and textile, but we can change with different waste of other origins. The challenge of this project, it was that it should have an appearance similar to stone, because we wanted to be it for premium markets. It should be also mechanized with traditional cutting, drilling, and milling tooling. So no special tooling needs to be developed to give shape and cut in forms this material. And the most important challenge was to create a material that was fire resistant and in line with the European norms of fireproof materials. And so this is how this project was born, after a lot of trial and error and innovation and design, studying the waste, how does it come, what is the shape, how can we transform it, and also how can we, after that, develop different products that could adapt to this market. That would be all. Thank you very much. I would like to thank the APCI for inviting me today. And I hope this was interesting for all of you, and it was a pleasure.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ramy Fischler. I'm a designer. I'm from Belgium, but my studio is in Paris. I arrived in Paris and in France in 1998, and I studied in Paris at l'ENSI Les Ateliers. And after 1 year at the Villa Medici, in 2010, I opened my own studio. And from the beginning, I choose to not limit myself in one particular fields, but always looking where design can be useful and exciting. So today we are working on many different fields, very complementary, such as F&B, restaurants, hotels all over the world, private residences, but in this case we very specifically work on highly sophisticated projects for which we design the majority of the furniture, the light fixture, the textiles, and all the details are custom made. It's really a laboratory for design for us. That's why we really like to work on private residence. We create also industrial products, sometimes for care, sometimes for well-being, such as this air purifier that we see on the left side, totally produced in France. Sometimes we connect furniture like this fridge that we propose to avoid plastic packaging and food waste, thanks to a digital application that connect the restaurant that deliver the food in glass containers. We do also furniture, urban furniture, like the terrace and seats that we design for the Champs-Élysées Avenue and that we installed just before the Olympic Games. And we also develop our own collection of furniture manufactured by craftsmen, mostly in France, but also in Italy and in Portugal. So when we talk about the place of design in a wider ecosystem, it is always good to remember where we come from. We tend to forget, but the world we live in today has been imagined, exhibited, and even introduced into movies with a clear aim to make us want to access this life, this way of life, and for the industry to be able to produce it with less risk of commercial failure. The 20th century design was based on an ideal of individualism, performance, overconsumptions, the conquest of the universe and the world cities as a dream habitat. But our generation should seek to build the future with different notions, such as common sense, sustainability, connection with the living, or the notion of local and proximity. These words should guide our work and our creation in every field. And sometimes a modest contribution to the way we think about making an object or a space can have a major long-term impact on the quality of our lives. Saying that, I try every day to get closer to this ideal in my project, but I don't say it's always easy, as you can imagine. The Eiffel Tower is one of those architectural monuments that embody the Industrial Revolution. It's still standing more than 130 years later, even though it was supposed to be destroyed after 20. On the second floor of the restaurant, a large piece of art symbolizes our approach, which is mixing artisanal know-how with a strong message about climate change. This handmade textile tapestry doesn't represent a French flag as some customer thinks, but the evolution of the temperature from the construction of the Eiffel Tower on the left to the inauguration of the restaurant we designed on the right. More than 130 years separate these two periods, and a few degrees more too, as you can see. I designed the furniture restaurant and the chair specifically, and it was also the opportunity to study the durability of the chair, which is used 4 times a day, 7 days a week. In other words, this chair generally lasts 5 years at best, when the restaurant itself has to last 12 years before being renovated. And this is a real problem because generally, once this piece of furniture have broken down, they generate a great deal of waste as they are thrown away and replaced without being reused. So we decided to design a chair that would last at minimum the same time than the restaurant, on working on all the usual weaknesses. We create a very solid and totally independent wooden structure covered by a leather or fabric skin, which is applied without glue or other mechanical system. This leather cover, which deteriorates much faster than the wood, is often not detachable from the structure. Here, it can be replaced and recycled easily. For me, it's really the way we design furniture that needs to change to anticipate its life cycles.